Check it out now.
Hi everybody, it's Mo, and I'm going ahead and doing the fitness update now that I want to give to you. I'm also going to try to add in some before and after pictures just in case anyone here is kind of new or not a friend of mine that's been watching. Obviously, these updates are primarily for my friends, family, so that you can see, where I'm at, what's going on with me. For anyone who's interested, I was just advised by a friend not long ago that I hadn't done an update or hadn't done a video, so that's one of the reasons I'm gonna go ahead and do it now. And I know that I'm not great with journalizing things, so trying to stay on top of that and do that. So far, I'm down about 50 pounds and still working, at trying to really get in shape. Fitness is my ultimate goal, not just weight loss, but to really be in good shape. And because of that, I've sort of shifted my focus a little bit from just like losing pounds to more focusing on body composition and sculpting it the way that I really want it to be, which means further reducing body fat and adding muscle. And being a vegetarian, that is very difficult to do, I will tell you. I really, really focus on limiting my carbohydrates, and I've been very good at that. I've, no sweets or anything like that. Pretty much nothing white. No white rice, no white, no white flour, no white potatoes. I've had a little bit of potato because at least with that glucose, your body really only turns about 1 gram of that into fat. So it's not so bad for you. But for the other white things that they tell you to avoid, overly processed things, I just try to avoid them as much as possible and stick to whole foods, and whole foods that have high levels of protein in them. So that has been working for me. I'm going to continue to do that, and I do my protein powders, but I'm just upping sort of my resistance and things like that to include a few more things. One of the questions that I get all the time from people, they want to know specifically as far as like the protein powders and things like that, what I'm doing. So I wanted to share some of that with you. And the first one, I'm a big fan of BSN, which is the company that manufactures Synthesix. This is my favorite. This flavor here is the chocolate milkshake. You can see that there. And to me, that this is the best tasting protein powder for me personally. I am a chocoholic for sure. I typically always favor the chocolate flavors just because I love chocolate. There's also the vanilla flavors, though, varieties, if that's something that you like. And there's even, a lot of the protein powders will even have like a fruit flavor or something for those who like those types of flavors. But for me, this chocolate milkshake, there's not, I would drink this even, you know, if I was just laying around wanting a chocolate milkshake. Like, really, it tastes really that good to me. And I like to doctor it up and do different things with it depending on my goals. I'd use mine with almond milk, typically unsweetened almond milk, sometimes the unsweetened vanilla. But I do the unsweetened because I don't want any additional sugars. Even with that, the almond milk has less sugar in it than regular milk, especially if you're doing skim milk, which has the highest sugar content. So the almond milk is actually a really, really good choice. It tastes great. Most people that don't even have any concerns about cow's milk really, really like the taste of almond milk. So if you've never tried it, I recommend you try it, especially in something like a protein shake where the additional protein that you would get from cow's milk is negligible anyway. I would definitely recommend you try the almond milk. And so the Synthesix is my favorite. I also do this lean dessert, and this one here is in the chocolate fudge pudding flavor. Now, I don't think that this particular product tastes quite as good as the Synthesix. It tastes more like a traditional protein powder that I've tried in the past to me. However, the reason that I like the lean dessert is because it has fewer calories, fewer grams of fat, and fewer grams of carbohydrate than the Synthesix does. And it still has the same amount of protein. So for me, on days when for whatever reason I need to sort of pull my calories back just a little bit, then I use the lean dessert to do that, and I can still get the same amount of protein. And the importance with protein is, as you're losing weight, if weight loss is part of your fitness goals, you want to make sure to protect your muscle as much as possible. Muscle obviously is, the component that's burning the fat up, and so you want to have as much of that muscle as you can. So just protecting your lean mass so that you don't lose that and instead lose body fat. For me right now, I'm trying to put on more lean mass. So that I can burn even more calories during the day to keep my body fat down and get my body fat down lower. So overall, calories are very, very important. Calories in, calories out, definitely important. But the composition of what those calories are is important as well. So just, be mindful of whatever your goals are to make sure that your goals are in line, or your nutrition is in line with what your goals are. So that's the other thing. Now, I will say that both of those powders that I just showed you are whey protein powders. Whey is a fast-acting protein. If you're getting ready to work out or something like that, you're active during the day, that's fantastic. That's great. Definitely recommend. If, however, for some reason you're going to bed at night, you should if you need something to stick with you throughout the night, you want to do a protein. You want to avoid fats and carbohydrates. So for that, I recommend a longer lasting protein, something that digests and metabolizes very slowly. And so for that, I would recommend this egg white protein. Now Sports makes an egg white protein powder. And this one is enriched chocolate. Again, love my chocolate. Love my chocolate. High in protein. This one happens to be sugar-free. And for me, myself, I don't mix my protein powders usually with other things very often. I usually just drink it because it's faster. Especially at night before I go to bed, I'm just going to drink it down and go to bed. So for me, chocolate always works. Chocolate is always the answer. So, but for the egg white protein, I definitely recommend you try that if it's something that you need late at night. You don't want to do something like whey because it's going to leave you very fast. And it's not going to stick with you. If you're really trying to restore and repair your muscles, which is what you're doing in your rest days or rest periods, which is why they tell you not to work the same muscles day after day. The way you build muscle, like, I say I do an arm workout and I'm working my arms out. And basically, as I'm working them, I'm creating what's called micro tears throughout the muscle. Well, what protein does, a protein is the building blocks for muscle, the amino acids. You learned all that, I'm sure, in biology. And when I create all those tears in my muscles from working out, the amino acids, the proteins, fill in those tears with new muscle. That's how the body builds and creates new muscle. Obviously, especially for women, that doesn't happen as quickly or as fast as it does for men, but it is a process. And so when you feel that soreness the next day, when you try something new, just remember that soreness are those little micro tears in your muscle. What you need to do is make sure that your nutrition is there so that you can actually restore and fill in those tears with new muscle, as opposed to losing muscle. And you don't want that to happen, because then you're going to have to eat even less to lose the same amount of weight, or to maintain whatever your current body weight is, depending on what your goals are. So you always want to have enough protein and enough calories so that you're adding muscle to those tears. And also, you have to, in order to create those tears, you have to make sure you're working out and being consistent in your workouts every day. So make sure you get your rest so that your muscles have time to repair themselves and your body can repair itself. Make sure you're being consistent, and make sure you're staying on top of the nutrition piece as well. So those are my recommendations. Still doing the P90X. Love P90X. Love Beachbody products. Wanting to add in the Brazil butt lift, especially after my little swimsuit shopping trip. Yeah. So I don't know exactly what my body fat percentage is, but I know it's way too high for me right now. So I definitely want to work on getting that down. But I'm still doing the Beachbody, and I love it. Looking forward to my trip to Cozumel coming up in March. I won't say exactly when. That's not really important. I just don't want to say too much. But at any rate, sometime in March, I'll be going on a trip to Cozumel with my girl Shelly. Nichelle and Monique. I can't wait. Very excited. But I do want to thank you for checking out my video, and for all my friends and my family. You guys are great, as far as being supportive, and, just supporting my journey. I definitely do appreciate it. Any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to comment or send me an email or hit me on Facebook or whatever the case may be. Thanks again. Thank you for taking the time to watch the video, and you guys have a great day.
Check it out now. No doubt now. Yeah. Check it out now. No doubt, yo. Special girl, real good girl. Biggest thing in my itty bitty world. Call her up and she made me feel right. Wish the bliss could never take flight.